Hey everyone, and welcome back to our story corner. Tonight, we're diving into a classic tale that's as wise as it is charming. It's called The Mice's Meeting. Let's get cozy and begin. One quiet night, under the soft, silvery glow of the moon, a community of mice gathered in an old, dusty warehouse. This was their home, filled with shadows and secrets. A mother mouse, her fur ruffled with worry, hugged her children closely. She looked up at the leader, a wise old mouse with long whiskers, and spoke in a hushed whisper. "My children are always being chased by the cat," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "Every day is a struggle for survival. I just wish we could live peacefully, even for a little while." Her plea hung in the silent air, echoing the fears of every mouse present. The leader nodded slowly, his expression serious. He knew the mother mouse spoke the truth. The cat was a constant threat, a silent predator that cast a long shadow over their lives. He cleared his throat and called for a meeting. One by one, the mice scurried from their nooks and crannies, their tiny feet pattering softly on the wooden floor. They sat in a large circle, their noses twitching nervously, speaking in the quietest of whispers so the cat, who might be prowling nearby, would not hear them. The air was thick with tension as they discussed their shared problem. They talked about different escape routes, better hiding spots, and ways to find food without being noticed. But none of these ideas offered a real solution. The fear would always remain. Suddenly, a young mouse, who had been listening intently, raised his voice, though still gently. "I have an idea," he squeaked, his eyes bright with excitement. "What if we put a bell around the cat's neck?" A murmur went through the crowd. He continued, gaining confidence. "Think about it. When the bell rings, we will know the cat is coming. We'll hear the jingle-jangle and have plenty of time to hide. We'll always be one step ahead." For a moment, there was silence. Then a wave of relief washed over the mice. It was brilliant. So simple, yet so effective. Cheerful chatter replaced the worried whispers. The mice felt a surge of hope they hadn't experienced in a very long time. The idea was perfect. Working together, their spirits lifted. They began to create the device that would change their lives. They found a thin strip of leather for the collar and a tiny, shiny bell that had fallen from a child's toy. With nimble paws and determined hearts, they fastened the bell securely to the collar. It was a masterpiece of mouse engineering. When everything was ready, the little collar with its tiny bell lay in the center of their circle, gleaming in the moonlight. The leader stood and addressed the hopeful crowd, his voice calm but firm. "The plan is excellent, and the collar is ready," he announced. Then he asked the one question that remained: who will put the bell on the cat? Silence filled the room, a deep, profound silence that was heavier than any fear they had felt before. The cheerful chatter vanished, the hopeful smiles faded. Every mouse looked down at their paws, avoiding each other's eyes. No one moved, no one spoke. The brave young mouse who had suggested the idea now seemed very small. The reality of the task sank in. Who among them was brave enough to approach the sleeping predator, to risk everything for the safety of the group? The minutes ticked by, and still not a single mouse volunteered. At last, with heavy hearts, the mice understood. The beautiful little collar with its promise of safety was just an idea. The leader picked up the bell and placed it quietly in a corner of the warehouse, where it would remain unused and forgotten. One by one, the mice returned to their nests and fell asleep, their dreams once again haunted by the shadow of the cat. They had learned a valuable lesson that night. A good idea is only the beginning. It takes courage and action to turn a clever plan into a real solution. And that's the end of our story. It really makes you think, doesn't it? It's a great reminder that having wonderful ideas is fantastic, but having the bravery to see them through is what truly makes a difference. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories. Until next time, sweet dreams.